Okay, let's go ahead and get started there, everybody. Let me go ahead and switch this over to live. There we go. Welcome back to another 1 p.m. PST YouTube stream. I'm your host, Strange for Jump, and today we are going to be getting back into doing some Pega studying. We might have some Unreal. Not sure. Haven't heard anything from Blackheart yet, so but I'm gonna make the assumption that he will be able to make it today. If not, then we will obviously go ahead and skip that. Um, obviously no pressure on him. If he can't make it, he can't make it. Okay, there's no problem on my end if he's unable to uh, be here. Okay, because he has a lot of real life events going on right at this moment in time, so it's perfectly fine if he is unable to, um, uh, step in for that 1 hour. Okay. Um, so no worries on that. Okay. Um, then we got some more videos to upload or to make public. And then we got some more Warframe later on tonight. So that's the lineup for today's stream. If you're watching this later on YouTube, for this just for the Pega video itself, um, thank you for clicking on this video. I appreciate it. You're always welcome to come on by, for these live streams um, that I make. Um, and let's see. Uh, Yeah, I mean, anything that you can do to help me out with the YouTube algorithm would be, as always, welcome. So, um, let's get into the Pega certification study, shall we? Now, I've been doing this for a while now, but, maybe you don't really know who I am. I try to repeat it for all the videos, but, um, I just want to make sure that everybody knows um, why I'm doing these videos. So, I am currently an unemployed software developer whose last job was with the Pega environment. Hey there, Alexander. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Um, now, um, the um, the uh, training that I had wasn't exactly the best. Just had the authorized training partner for it, but unfortunately, me and the majority of my peers uh, pretty much went self-study on it. Um, we asked to be put back into another training session with the company to get a better understanding of Pega and to get a better result on our certification test. But that didn't happen. So and I never got around to getting my certification. I was forced to take it once. Definitely was not ready for it, and I clearly failed it. Um, so that's what these Pega streams are, or these Pega certification portions of these streams are all about. Okay, recording me going through the mission for the Pega environment, and in the attempt to um, take the test and pass it. And then I can put it on my resume and, start trying to get a job, in a Pega environment, in a Pega industry. Um, so, um, now, for those of you watching that, maybe you're also trying to work on the certification, know that I am not an authorized training partner and this is not meant to be an instructor-led training. Okay. I'm not, um, I don't have all the answers when it comes to Pega. I will have my own questions, you know, that I will address in videos. And I just hope that um, veterans of Pega, um, the academy, leads, managers, years of experience of veterans might catch one of these videos and be able to answer the questions that I might have, um, on said video. And therefore, not only are they helping me, but they might be helping someone else that might also have the same questions. So, um, now, I'm already, you know, pretty far along in terms of the system architect certification study. You know, I've done a lot of videos on these so far. But as you can see, I still have 12 hours and 55 minutes according to them. And well, it's um, uh, 5 minutes to them appears to be like, like 30 minutes or something like that. No worries there, Alexander. No, I wasn't quite sure exactly what you were um, saying there, so I didn't really pay it any mind. So no worries on that. Um, Now, when it comes to the business architect, that's already done. Okay, if you're here in the hopes that I'll be going over the business architect, it's done. I've already covered the two missions and two modules for it. You're just gonna have to go to my playlist and go through all the topics and challenges there. Um, we've already covered it. Um, Now, I'm doing these in 8.7, so if you're studying this and you're going over like 8.8 or 23, I wish you luck on it. Obviously, there's going to be some changes, if not a lot of changes, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, a lot of the suggestions that I have put forward to them have come back with, yeah, okay, we understand. Let's, we went ahead and changed that in future versions. So, I'm thankful that they're willing to take those suggestions into consideration and updating new versions. You're probably not going to see them in the 8.7. They're not changing the 8.7 because that would require them to change the translations as well. So, but um, if you are trying to study for the business architect, then know that um, in these last two modules here are all about the Pega Express delivery. Okay, if you wanna know what you know, um, I don't feel like these two modules covers enough of the Pega Express delivery for you to know fully well when it comes to the certification test, and you're going to be saving 12% of the certification test all about Pega Express. So I would recommend taking the mission itself. Okay, go over through the mission, study all the 8 modules that they have on there, and hopefully get a better picture of what Pega Express is all about. So pass that 12% of the certification test with flying colors. Okay, get that 100%, or at least as close as you can for it, right? If you can answer the questions like this without any problems, without any hesitation, without like going, did they mean that or did they mean that? Then you're going to be golden when it comes to the certification. Okay. Um, but obviously you need to also be correct. So um, now we still got a ways to go for the system architect to be done on that one before I'm ready to take the certification test. And, you know, hopefully, if you're following along with me on this, then maybe you're also planning on taking the system architect certification as well. Alexander, I don't know if you're interested in the Pega environment at all. If you are, then fantastic. If you're here for another reason, then no problem. I'm glad that you're still here anyway. Um, okay, so the next module is the grouping fields and views, the layout groups, and the module quiz. However, I did get some uh, reply emails, and I should go over those actually. So let me bring those emails up. Obviously, I'm not going to show them because I don't necessarily want to like, dox anyone or anything along those lines, but we're going to go ahead and kind of cover all the suggested edits that I haven't covered in a while. I got a lot of them, yesterday. So, um, but let's see. First suggested edit. So one of this was my suggestion here concerning the Pega UX solutions on the topic of Pega Cosmos advantages. So here, let's go back to that and just make sure that we're um, you know you are kind of seeing everything as well. So Pega Cosmos advantages, which was that one. Um, so um, um, so I think this was concerning the last question here. Pega Cosmos helps teams to be more productive through the use of better multitasking, AI modular design, filtering, unified activity, collaboration views with only Pega branded assets. I initially said yes, because I mean, you know, a lot of this stuff is something that Pega is doing by themselves. Okay, and they are trying to do more and more, with Pega, being only Pega branded assets. Okay, they don't really want anything outside. So I said, so with the fact that you're trying to add everything into Pega from SORs to rule instead of object, it really isn't that hard of a stretch to say that you're trying to design Pega to be self-sufficient. So when I see an answer that has no statement anywhere in the topic to refute previous statements about how Pega is building their own tools, how am I to proceed? I mean, the only thing that I could think of is that you could make the statement false was an external database. That's it. Maybe add a statement somewhere within the topic that addresses why it isn't only Pega branded assets. Maybe add in what Pega uses that isn't Pega assets. Because so far, I don't see a large list from where I sit. And they said, thank you for submitting feedback for the system architect mission. Your feedback has been added to the backlog for next release. So either they're going to change the question, or maybe they'll add, what Pega doesn't have or something like that. I don't really know. They didn't really state, um, what they might change. But I mean, I'm thankful that once again they're like, okay, well, we understand your feedback. We'll consider it. So that's nice. Okay. Next one. Challenge, customizing a view at runtime. So, here, um, we're going back here. Let's see. Customizing a view at runtime. So, the, um, the suggestion I made here is there's no way that this is set to a 5-minute duration. It takes approximately 5 minutes to even get the instance to load, much less the 3 tasks that you have to work through. Please review the time requirement on this challenge and fix accordingly. Thank you. So according to this person's statement, thank you for submitting feedback for the system architect mission. As always, I'm thankful that they're like, thanking me. The time estimate has been updated in the latest version of the challenge. Please note that the instance spin-up time is not included in the time estimate. I mean, it should still be added, to be honest. Because if you're giving an estimate time on how long everything takes for the topic for the challenge or something like that, it really should incorporate everything, in my particular opinion. But um, we recommend creating the challenge instance before starting the associated module. I mean, not everybody, well, I mean, even then, it's like you're still going to have to take time to create the challenge instance. So, yeah, this ensures the challenge instance is ready to launch when you complete reviewing conceptual content. It's like no one's going to be. I mean, um, you know, are you going to be looking through the task prior to it? I mean, wouldn't that also take time, to review and stuff like that anyway? Um, when I've done these challenges, I don't really go and review. I want to try to, have a kind of a blind reaction to it so that I know, like, hey, this is my first time seeing it, and I need to kind of, you know, handle it, or this is how I need to kind of handle it when I first see it, right? Um, so I don't know. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, okay, you know, but we'll move on. Um, so um, okay, so next one is once again going back to the Pega UX solutions. So let's go back to that one. Pega Cosmos full case page autonomy or anatomy. Okay, so here's that topic. Suggestion: isn't the upper left more to do with regional preferences? If I'm not mistaken, Japan reads from right to left, so when they want to be looking at their upper right as a default. So is the research global or just United States study? So this was concerning the um, where was it again? Um, let's see. Um, right. Okay. So research shows that users tend to look at the upper left of the screen to understand context. I'm like, well, sure, if you're typically someone that's from like maybe the United States or reads from left to right, or you're looking through a book, it's like you flip a page or looking, you know, up in the upper left and kind of reading left to right, as you're kind of going through the contents and stuff like that, here in the States. But here's the thing, um, that's here in the States. You know, from my knowledge, which I mean, let's face it, I don't know everything that there is. Japan reads right to left. So wouldn't they be more inclined? They'd probably be more inclined to look in the upper right-hand corner. Am I wrong in that assessment? You know, again, I don't know. You know, I haven't studied Japanese all that much. Um, but I mean, it's one would figure that their eyes would tend to be more upper right than upper left. You know, but again, I don't know. I mean, couldn't there be a culture that has some, writing from bottom to top? You know, on the right hand side, I mean, it depends on the culture, obviously. So, um, so it's like, okay, well, your research study is a little off, I would imagine. So, um, I got the reply back. Thank you for your suggested edit, as always. This is a language-based study. In the hotspot, it mentions users who read left to right instinctively look to upper left on the screen to understand their context and get their bearings on any new screen, which is true. However, again, it depends on the culture. It depends on the location. However, the knowledge check doesn't have that caveat. I've added this to our spreadsheet to investigate next release. So that's that's what they replied back to us. It's like you have to understand your culture, and with Pega being international, you can't make that you can't make that assertion for every single culture that's out there. You know, so um, so yeah. We move on. I have a lot of suggested edits that got replies back, so we're gonna cover them all right now. Um, so um, so next one is the mobile design best practices topic, but it doesn't really give you um, the module in question. Hold on. Okay, well, that also doesn't really help me out very much. Um, um, let's see. There it is, mobile design best practices. So, in this suggested edit that I make, in the design for device window under the first description, you have a misspelling. You'll see users access instead of the necessary users access. Should be simple fix without needing to change any of the other websites. So, um, where is it here? Uh, let's see. They still haven't fixed it. Um, So, hi Jim, thanks for the feedback to Pega Academy. I fixed the typo in the latest version of the topic. I mean, they didn't fix this version of the topic. So, here, let me, this is the version that they're kind of referring to. They have the user's access. So, this is their most up-to-date version, and it's like, well, why not just fix this one? I mean, this right here doesn't change anything for any of the translations. You're just fixing a misspelling. Why not just fix this version? Oh well. Uh, but hey, they fixed it for later versions. Whatever. We move on. Okay. Um, so the, one of the I made another comment about the customizing a view at runtime challenge, about it being 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm saying there's no possibility that this is a 5 minute and that this is 5 minutes in length. Grab a new hire, pull out a stopwatch, and time how long it takes them, and make sure they go step by step. So, you know, I'm I'm kind of like really hitting home on them about their times on some of these topics and these challenges because they are not in line with anybody brand new coming into these topics, into these challenges. Okay, it's not realistic. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure that they're trying to say, oh yeah, you can get this done in a couple of days. When in reality, it's a lot longer than that, you know. I mean, you're talking about, someone that's trying to learn this material for the first time. They're not gonna know every single step, you know. Like I showed you guys that challenge, before where it's like, I timed it where I was like going, okay, they don't consider the instance loading, right? So I timed it right as soon as I hit the login. I put in that username, I put in that password. As soon as I hit login, I started that timer. And without was barely looking at the information on there, it took me 8 minutes. Okay. Now, I'm sure that if they were like directly connected to their servers and getting that instance almost instantaneously, then sure, maybe they might be able to make it in 5 minutes with the load times being really, really short. I would imagine that they might be able to pull it off in 5 minutes. But here's the thing, we're not talking about being directly hooked up to their servers. Okay, we're talking about people that, like me, that might be seeing it from on the other side of, well, not, I'm closer to them than that, but still, um, you know, people in India, for example, there's a lot of them studying for the Pega exam themselves, right? They're going to be needing to go through these, and they're probably taking a lot longer than 5 minutes, maybe. Who's to say? Um, but there's no way. You know, so Um, this person says, we're in the process of finding a better way to get more accurate estimates for completion time for our content. So I appreciate that the fact that they're like looking into that a little bit more because, you know, having, if they were having like the veterans or, people that with more experience, doing these estimates, then obviously that skews the estimates because now you have professionals that knows exactly what they're doing working on these, and you know, um, that doesn't help someone that's brand new trying to look at this. So, matter of fact, it kind of, if you're not careful, you know, if you're not careful on saying like, oh yeah, this is done by like a veteran or something like that, you know, they might look at it and go, wait, someone could do it in 5 minutes, but it took me 10 or it took me 15. My gosh, I'm really terrible at this. Or, something along those lines. I mean, who's to say with that? So they really need to have better estimates overall. Okay. All right. So, that was a simple one about the estimates. So, okay. Um, Okay, so this one is concerning the repeating layouts topic. I don't know. Let's see, where was that one again? I believe that one was that one's fairly recent, but I'm not quite sure exactly which one. Ah, there it is. Okay, so this was concerning the question down at the bottom, where my suggestion was a repeating dynamic layout, which is a repeating layout, has the same capabilities as a regular dynamic layout. So why is the answer wrong again in terms of the um, what was it again? I think it was this one. Um, I was a bit concerned with the other answers because it felt like I was seeing answers with one or two parts of the answer being incorrect. For example, repeating structures which includes lists, but repeating layouts can be nonlinear, so I don't know. I feel like this question might need a review and update. That was my that was my suggestion. So the reply, the answer repeating layouts organize non-tabular information and shift content as the device size changes is incorrect. So that was this one. So, I tried to do that one and, I was getting the dynamic layouts. I'm like going, well, repeating dynamic layouts is still repeating layouts. So, um, but they say because of the non-tabular information piece. Typically use a repeating layout for tabular information or lists. But again, um, you also have, um, repeating dynamic layouts for nonlinear. So, um, so Obviously they're probably ignoring that, but I mean, I'm just like, guys, repeating dynamic layouts, are stating that it can be nonlinear. Um, so that's why it's like, I don't know. They're just basically kind of repeating the, you know, the information here, and it's like, but dynamic layouts can be nonlinear, so which is a repeating layout. We're going like catch 22, chasing our tail kind of thing, so obviously it kind of fell on deaf ears, so not much I can really do about it, so we're gonna move on. Um, um, okay, so this one is concerning mobile design best practices topic. Um, let's see. They're not including the module, so it makes it a little difficult trying to find the exact location. So, okay. So I was, um, so this was concerning the quiz down here at the very bottom, where I was like going, hey, simple UI, responsive UI, auto-generated controls. I was like finding similarities, you know, for these, or at least, I thought, simple UI. Okay, well, this will work for that one, kind of thing, right? So on one hand, I understand what you're trying to say, and I'll try to adjust my mind around your definitions. But at the same time, when I think of a simple UI design, I would figure that not having a horizontal scroll bar showing up for mobile would be kind of a no-brainer. Figuring having a date change based on location would be something that would be considered responsive based on the location. And having a button or QR code display for a mobile user automatically sounds like like it would be auto-generated. But I guess I'm wrong. I'll try to remember these for the future certification, but it just feels off. So the reply, the knowledge check pulls from different sections of the topic, the use layout groups to take advantage of responsive UI best practice, the create simple user interface hotspot, and the use auto-generated controls hotspot. It, you're missing my point there, um, individual. Um, you know, my point is that when I think of simple, I think of something that has to be um, designed for mobile. When I think of responsive, I think that the website needs to respond to the issue at hand or whatever. I would figure that showing a button or a QR code would be considered an auto-generated. It's showing itself because the user might want it or something like that, right? Um, so that was my piece on it, but it looks like it kind of fell on deaf ears on that one. You know, they're basically saying, hey, this is coming from the information presented here and from above, so Um, I get what they're, like I said, I get what they're trying to say, but at the same time, the definitions of the words themselves is kind of shooting them in the foot as well. You know, because when I think of responsive, I think of something that, um, that needs to respond to the situation at hand, which could also, you know, apply to having, a date control, you know, being handled for a person's location. That sounds responsive to me, but no, what they mean by responsive is the, you know, scroll bars. Um, I figured the QR code or button would be something that would be auto-generated, and therefore, um, would be something that would automatically be shown to the user based off of that. But no, they are talking about the date control with native rendering. And then, of course, the simple UI is having a button or QR code, which I was thinking could be the horizontal scroll bars, because the horizontal scroll bars are removed um, when you're viewing on a mobile phone, which seems like that should be a simple UI choice for mobile phones. But yeah, um, so yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I kind of wish that maybe they had like some better examples or something like that. But at the same time, I mean, if this is something that you could potentially see anyway on the certification test, then it's better to know right off the top, why they all kind of work the way they work. You know, based off of what they've based off of what they've stated already up here, you know, these are indeed the correct answers, but it just feels to me like, you can consider these other answers in the other locations if you think about it. But they're not going to change that one, so we move on. Um, okay, so this is concerning the dynamic layouts topic. So let's go to that one. And all right, um, so isn't where is it? Oh, right. That's concerning the question here. Isn't one of the possibilities that you can do with design templates is the ability to make your own? Changing how the template looks, changing what layouts, what columns, how they are arranged occurs. I thought that Dev Studio gives you those kind of tools, which wouldn't you say would fall under manual configuration? So I'm not sure the answer is completely incorrect. I know the answer is about forms, which is interesting that the keyword forms isn't really used much in the topic. Maybe consider changing that as well. And they answer you're not able to create your own design template in Dev Studio, which um, Um, wait a minute. Wasn't there something about? I mean, I know that I'm going back to the other topics right at this moment in time, but okay, a layout template you can modify, but they're saying the design template can't. Aha. Okay. Pega platform provides out-of-the-box layout or design templates to use when creating views. You can apply an existing layout template to a view in both App Studio or Dev Studio, but only Dev Studio allows you to create or update a layout template. I'm sorry there, a person that replied back to my email. This is indeed incorrect. Um, According to the topic, information and user interface, Pega platform provides out-of-the-box layout or design templates to use when creating Dev Studio. Actually, so according to a previous topic, you can create or change a design template. So according to topic, you can create create or change a design template unless that statement is incorrect. And a layout or design template cannot. Can be both. Uh, so I'm sorry, their reply is incorrect. So by their own statement here, that's incorrect. You know, so they are literally saying layout or design, which they're basically stating that layout has the same wording as design. Layout and design are the same words that they're using in that particular regard, and they're kind of mashing it together into a template. So therefore, when you go to the two topics away, you know, um, the you know design templates allow you to have complete control of the layout by facilitating manual configuration, which you can do with Dev Studio. You know, that is incorrect. You know, you can change your design templates. You can create a design templates. So no, this is, that is incorrect. So, all right, last one. And unfortunately, this is taking up the entire hour, so we're probably not going to be covering any additional topics today. I apologize for that, but I mean, I wanted you guys to kind of see, that hey, if you're making suggestions in there, the the Pega Academy team does have people that will review said suggestions. So if you feel like if there's something there that can be changed or modified or something like that, don't be afraid to do that. Um, um, so this one is concerning the challenge customizing a view at runtime. So this one was the one of the most recent challenges. Um, so right there. And it was concerning the fact that during the um, confirming the work, when you're entering in digits um, for checking it, you know, you are trying to verify that, you're only entering numbers. And I was like going, well, technically, um, so while checking the input for the zip code, I spammed lots of different characters. One character remained. While I understand that E is typically regarded as a label for exponent, maybe you'll need some safeguards in your number field to guard against allowing E into a zip code. Like maybe if the user selects the number field type, it will pop up a checkbox giving them the option to handle exponents or not. If not, it should reject E. So, an image has been attached, and yes, I can continue with the input shown. Um, so They replied, for simplicity educational purposes, our challenge applications have relatively simple configurations and will not reflect what you would expect in a real-world application. We include validations or input restrictions if it is relevant to the challenge. But, I mean, that is kind of relevant to the challenge, though, because you are um, you're adding this zip code that's supposed to be um, of type number. That's part of your task there. That your zip code would only be a number, not any kind of characters. So, yeah, that's unfortunately that really doesn't work. Um, I mean, you are including input restrictions. Let me put this here. The fact that um, you have 5 and 5 there, and the fact that you know um, it is meant to be only of number type. You know, if you didn't really care about validations or input restrictions, you would have changed the editable format to be number. So, um, I'm gonna have to um, kind of counter this a little bit myself. So, um, 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 if you didn't really care too much about input validations, then why have the input even care if it was number to begin with? Um, could have left it as um, I don't know I don't know what the default is for that. Um, let me double check that real quick. Oh right, Unreal. Oh boy, I'm getting a little sidetracked on this. Let's see. Okay. Um, Sorry there, Blackheart. I'm gonna be running a little late on the on Unreal. We'll be getting to that shortly, but you know, if he's listening to me right at this moment in time, I don't know if he is yet, but um, I wanna I wanna kind of double check this real quick, and then set off the reply, and then I'll get to the Unreal in just a minute. So um, maybe do a little dance and a jig or something like that. uh, Damn it. Unfortunately, these Pega topics can sometimes run a little over, unfortunately. So, but I mean, if he wants to come on into the stage, then he's welcome to as well. Um, but I want to try to finish off this portion here, and then I'll switch on over, which means I'm gonna have to do like a quick stopping of this video and moving on to the Unreal. So it's probably going to be fairly quick ending there, folks. I mean, while this is prepping the instance, you know, help me out with the YouTube algorithm, you know, with the whole liking and subscribing and all that jazz. That would be fantastic. Check out the description for all my social media links, you know, links that help me out directly, Team Robot application, all that jazz. Check that out if you're interested in any of that. Check out my playlist for other, um, you know, Pega videos, or you know, check out the other playlists. You know, the gaming content, the coding content, the Unreal content that's coming up in just a second here on the stream, or um, you know, check all that out if you're. Ah, damn it, it's not taking an exclamation point. Okay. I'm just going to go straight into the case types here. You know, um, gonna run that one. Um, what was it again? Assistance request, and then we'll just take a random one that we can kind of modify. Okay. Design section. Um, let's see. Presentation. Um, oh, the field isn't the same. Let's see. Can I actually add zip to this at all? No. Um, let's see. Okay, here, let's do that, 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 presentation, this, was set to none before. So, after it's done, um, and, the user could have put whatever they wanted into the field. So there was a little bit of input validation placed within challenge. But but yeah, as you said, you are trying to go for simple configurations. I'm just concerned that the number field allows E as a default. That's all. Sincerely. Hey, well, I've addressed all the those emails and stuff like that, so there's that. We're done with that. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and switch on over to Unreal. So apologies for taking so long in terms of the Pega certification. So we're going to go ahead and move on over to Unreal. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully catch you next time. But until then, take care. Have a good night. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Catch you next time.